In a move welcomed by both consumers and tech giants, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection has announced exemptions on tariffs for a range of electronics. This decision is seen as a significant relief for both the tech industry and everyday consumers. The exemptions, which are retroactive to April 5, 2025, cover popular items like smartphones, laptops, and computer monitors. This means that any tariffs paid on these items since that date will be refunded, providing immediate financial relief to importers and retailers. These exemptions are particularly important as they come at a time when the demand for electronics is at an all-time high. With more people working from home and relying on technology for everyday tasks, the cost of these essential items has a direct impact on household budgets. This decision marks a significant development in the ongoing US-China trade war, offering a potential lifeline to American tech companies heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing. By easing the financial burden on these companies, the exemptions could help stabilize the tech market and encourage further innovation. These tariffs, often referred to as reciprocal tariffs, were initially imposed on Chinese goods in response to similar measures taken by China. The trade war has led to increased costs for both producers and consumers, making these exemptions a welcome change. The exemptions aim to shield American consumers from the brunt of these tariffs, which would have inevitably translated into higher prices for everyday electronics. By keeping prices stable, the CBP's decision helps maintain consumer purchasing power and supports the broader economy. The CBP's decision to exclude these tech products from the tariff list acknowledges the current lack of viable domestic alternatives. This move is a recognition of the complex global supply chains that are essential for the production of high-tech goods. Establishing a robust US-based manufacturing infrastructure for such sophisticated electronics would require significant time and investment, a reality the exemptions implicitly acknowledge. This decision allows time for potential future developments in domestic manufacturing while ensuring that consumers and businesses are not unduly burdened in the interim. The scope of these tariff exemptions is extensive, encompassing a wide array of essential tech components and finished products. The CBP has identified 20 specific product categories covered by these exemptions. Key beneficiaries of the exemptions include smartphones, laptops, and computer monitors, products that have become indispensable for work, education, and leisure in today's digital age. Additionally, vital computer components like hard drives, processors, memory chips, and semiconductor devices are also included in the exemption list. The exemptions extend to equipment and flat-panel displays, further highlighting the administration's recognition of the pervasive role these technologies play in the daily lives of American citizens. This comprehensive list underscores the potential for widespread price relief for consumers across various tech sectors. The driving force behind these tariff exemptions is clear: to protect American consumers from the financial burden of increased prices on essential tech products. With the cost of living already on the rise, adding additional expenses for necessary technology could have been a significant strain on many households. The imposition of tariffs on Chinese imports had created a ripple effect throughout the tech industry, affecting everything from manufacturing costs to retail prices. This disruption threatened to make everyday technology significantly more expensive, impacting not just luxury items, but also essential devices that people rely on daily. Recognizing the potential for financial strain on American households, the CBP opted to provide relief by exempting these widely used tech products. This move was not just about economics, it was about ensuring that families could continue to access the technology they need for education, work, and staying connected with loved ones. The decision to exempt these products reflects an understanding of the critical role technology plays in modern life. From students attending virtual classes to professionals working remotely, technology has become an indispensable part of our daily routines. This decision reflects an understanding of the critical role technology plays in modern life and the importance of ensuring its affordability. By making these exemptions, the CBP is helping to ensure that technology remains accessible to all, regardless of economic status. By shielding consumers from the full impact of the tariffs, the exemptions aim to maintain the accessibility of these essential tools for communication, education, work, and entertainment. This is especially important in a time when so much of our lives have moved online. This move underscores a commitment to supporting the needs of American consumers in an increasingly digital world. It highlights the importance of keeping technology affordable and accessible, ensuring that everyone can benefit from the advancements that make our lives easier and more connected. Among the biggest winners of the tariff exemptions is tech giant Apple, a company that has long been at the forefront of innovation and consumer technology. With approximately 90% of its iPhone production based in China, Apple faced a significant financial threat from the tariffs. The potential impact on their supply chain and production costs was a looming concern for the company. The exemptions offer a much-needed reprieve, allowing the company to maintain its current pricing strategies without absorbing substantial losses. This means that consumers can continue to enjoy Apple products at their usual prices without any sudden hikes. This development comes as welcome news for Apple investors, who had been bracing for potential profit erosion due to the tariffs. The stock market responded positively, reflecting renewed investor confidence in Apple's financial stability. The exemptions alleviate concerns about disrupted supply chains and potential production slowdowns, allowing Apple to focus on innovation and meeting consumer demand. This stability is crucial for Apple as it continues to develop new products and technologies. The exemptions also benefit other major U.S. tech firms like Dell, Nvidia, and Microsoft, which similarly rely on Chinese manufacturing for their products. These companies can now breathe a sigh of relief as well. All these companies are heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing, and the tariff exemptions help them avoid increased costs that could have been passed on to consumers. This move levels the playing field for American tech companies, allowing them to compete more effectively in the global market without the burden of artificially inflated production costs. It ensures that the U.S. tech industry remains competitive and innovative on the world stage. Section 5. The U.S.-China Trade War, a background. To understand the significance of these tariff exemptions, it's crucial to consider the context of the ongoing U.S.-China trade war. This economic standoff began several years ago, characterized by a series of tit-for-tat tariffs imposed by both countries on each other's goods. The U.S. initially imposed tariffs on Chinese imports, citing concerns over unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. China retaliated with its own tariffs on U.S. goods, targeting key industries like agriculture and manufacturing. This escalating trade war has created uncertainty in the global market, impacting businesses and consumers alike. The recent tariff exemptions on electronics can be seen as a potential step towards de-escalation, signaling a willingness to find common ground. Section 6. Impact on the economy and inflation. The U.S.-China trade war and the resulting tariffs have had tangible economic implications. Economists have warned of the potential for slower economic growth and increased inflation as a direct result of these trade barriers. The tariffs have increased the cost of imported goods, putting upward pressure on prices for businesses and consumers. This, in turn, can lead to reduced consumer spending and slower economic growth. The recent tariff exemptions on electronics offer a glimmer of hope, potentially mitigating some of the inflationary pressures. By keeping the cost of these essential goods in check, the exemptions could help to stabilize prices and support consumer spending. Section 7. Wall Street cheers as tech stocks soar. The announcement of tariff exemptions for electronics was met with enthusiasm on Wall Street. Tech investors, who had been wary of the potential impact of tariffs on company profits, breathed a collective sigh of relief. Tech stocks surged following the news, with the Nasdaq, a key indicator of tech industry performance, experiencing its best week since 2023. This positive market reaction reflects renewed confidence in the tech sector and its ability to weather the storm of the trade war. Analysts have lauded the exemptions as a huge black cloud lifted from U.S. big tech, paving the way for continued growth and innovation. This positive sentiment is expected to translate into increased investment in the tech sector, further fueling its expansion. Section 8. Global trade, a mixed bag of developments. The tariff exemptions on electronics represent just one piece of a complex global trade puzzle. While this development offers a positive sign, other trade tensions and developments continue to shape the global economic landscape. For example, the European Union has suspended retaliatory tariffs against the U.S., signaling a potential thaw in their own trade disputes. Meanwhile, Thailand has announced plans to cut tariffs on U.S. corn, a move welcomed by American farmers. However, the U.S. and India have recently finalized a trade deal framework that has drawn criticism from some quarters. The deal, while touted as a win-win by both countries, has raised concerns about its potential impact on certain industries and workers. Section 9. Political chess game, the tariff exemption as a pawn. The decision to exempt electronics from tariffs is not without its political implications. The move comes amidst a backdrop of ongoing trade negotiations and political maneuvering. Some analysts view the exemptions as a strategic concession by the U.S., aimed at easing tensions with China and creating a more favorable environment for future trade talks. Others see it as a calculated move to appease American consumers and bolster the domestic tech industry. Regardless of the motivation, the tariff exemptions have undoubtedly shifted the dynamics of the U.S.-China trade relationship. It remains to be seen how this development will shape future negotiations and the broader global trade landscape.